Welcome to the Pros Pod. This is episode 1, baby. Let's go. We have Miss Rita behind the camera, as always. If you don't know her already, if you haven't met her at camp, Miss Rita does our social media. She's our social media lead, but she's also going to be the producer of our podcast, and me, gorgeous, beautiful, perfect, special angel, I'm going to be the talent. You're welcome. We're so excited about the Pros Pod, guys. This has been in the works for a while. Okay, we got to keep feeding the children, and we were like, what can we do to give more people more Spirit Pro? How can we bring more cheerleading to the table for everyone? And that's exactly what this is. So we're going to be talking all about cheer history. We're going to be talking about current events in the industry. We're going to be talking about things that we like, what we don't like, what is going on in the Spirit Pro world. So anything that you guys want to know, we're going to be talking about, and then we'll also have some stuff on our story. You'll be able to submit some questions or submit some like, hey, we want to see this on the podcast, and we'll bring it right to you. So without further ado, let's get into episode 1 of the Pros Pod. So excited. Also, how cute is this logo, y'all? Like, my little cue card, this is like next level cute, isn't it? Do you agree? Next level cute? Yes. Okay, work. All right, so to start the Pros Pod, we're going to talk about a little bit of Spirit Pro history. So how did we get here? How did we start? First, what is Spirit Pro? Spirit Pro is camps, consulting, choreography, all for cheerleading. We do all-star, we do high school, we do college. I had to think there. But we do a little bit of everything, and honestly, I love cheer so much. I started cheer probably 14 years ago. I did Pop Warner, and it's so funny. I signed up for Pop Warner, and I did not go. I submitted everything. I got sized for my uniform. The first practice came, and I was like way too scared to go. I was very introverted. I didn't have a lot of friends, and it was just like really big, scary, and intimidating. That was what it felt like. But I was hanging out with one of my friends at the pool who was also a cheerleader. She was the one that got me to sign up in the first place. And she was like, why don't you just come to practice and watch tonight? So I went to practice, I watched because I wanted to keep hanging out with her. And one of the coaches came up to me and said, you already signed up, you already signed the waiver, you already did everything. Why don't you come to practice tomorrow? If you love it, wonderful. If you hate it, never come back. Clearly, I loved it so much. We're sitting here on a podcast about cheerleading. So it was definitely the best decision that I ever made. So that's how I started cheer. From there, I got into all-star cheer. I did town cheer growing up. When I was a senior in high school, I moved from Boston, that's where I'm from, and I moved to California. I cheered at the California All-Stars. I moved back to Boston. I cheered at ECE. I did a few years of coaching there before I made the move down to Florida. I now live in Tampa. I coached at Brandon All-Stars for 5 years while I was coaching there. I started Spirit Pro. Spirit Pro was something I always wanted to do. I was like, I love camps. Cheer camp was always my favorite part of cheerleading. So when I was of age to do something like that myself, I was like, okay, well, I feel like I have to do this. So we tried it. We put on 2 camps. I called all my like old cheer friends and like coach friends, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a camp. Are you interested in helping me start this? I don't really know how it's gonna go, but we'll see. And it was an amazing success. Like, all of the teams that came were super happy. All of the staff that we had the first year was just like next level. It was so fun. And this is maybe a personal piece, bawled my eyes out after the first camp. Oh my God. Because I was just so happy, and I got to be there with all of my best friends. So Spirit Pro was literally like my love letter to cheerleading, and now we're year 5 in. We have like 13 camps on the schedule this year. We have a full choreography staff. We have so many different staff members at camp who are from all over the country, and it's been really, really beautiful to watch flourish. And yeah, I guess that's a little bit of a history about me and about Spirit Pro and how we got to where we are today. So I'm sure I'm going to give tons of more little tidbits on what we have going on and how we got here as the podcast episodes go on, but you're going to have to tune in and keep tuning in to find out. The first segment that we're going to do on the Pros Pod is called Pro of the Week. Pro of the Week, Pro of the Week. I'm doing this song so that eventually we can have a theme song going into this. Pro of the week, it's the pro of the week, it's the week and she's the pro, it's the pro of the week. Pro. I hope you liked that. So, what is the pro of the week? Pro of the week is a person, a team, an athlete, anybody that we think is just amazing. We want to give them their flowers. We want to shout them out. We want to let them know that we see them and we love what they're doing. So, the first pro of the week on the Pros Pod is, drumroll please, it is Judge Mimi. You can find her at judge.mimi on Instagram. I was on Judge Mimi's podcast a few months ago now, and I got to connect with her a little bit before. I got to connect with her after. And aside from just being such a great person on social media, she is also such a great person off camera. I really love all the work that she does. She does so much in cheerleading in Canada, in the US. She is always just trying to push more cheerleading, push more love for cheerleading, and make it more accessible for people. That was her goal, and I just love that about her. She is so warm, she is so inviting, she is so kind. I just felt like it was only right to give Judge Mimi her flowers on our first podcast because we just think that she is so incredible. So please sound the air horns for Judge Mimi. Okay. Moving on from the pro of the week, things we love in the industry, let's talk about things that are maybe a little bit controversial, right? Let's see what we like, let's see what we don't like. We're gonna move into our next segment, which is fab or flop. Fab or flop. Is it flopping or is it fab? It's fab or flop. Okay. Fab or flop is when we're going to talk about cheer trends in the industry and whether I think that they're fab or I think it's a flop. The first trend that we are going to be talking about for fab or flop is, drumroll please, cheer hair. And when we're talking about cheer hair, I'm specifically talking about the big hair pieces. Now, clearly, I have so much room to talk about this because I have such long, gorgeous, luscious hair on my head. It's everywhere. You see it? Thank you. So, clearly, I'm being sarcastic. I do have a lot of hair, duh. But everyone has their own opinions. Everyone is allowed to do what they want to do. Before I get into this, so just because I might like something or not like something does not mean that that is Bible, does not mean that that is what you need to think. This is just my own personal opinion. I have to do the disclaimer. So, cheer hair, specifically the big hair pieces. You all know what I'm talking about. It's the big Posh Pony, if you know Posh Pony back in the day. I actually had a very great relationship with the people that owned Posh Pony. Shout out to them. They're so wonderful and kind. I really do like the big hair. I have to say it. Some people don't like it. Some cheerleaders might not like it because it's hard to cheer in. And if that's the case for you, I feel that. I've never had to wear a hairpiece because I'm a boy, but now that I'm a coach and now that I've gotten to watch cheerleading, I'm a choreographer, I'm always watching cheer, I just feel like the big hair really just gives you what you need in a routine. It adds movement. It's exciting to watch. I love specifically, maybe this is a little controversial, when the little girls have hair that is like almost the size of them. Now, if it gets too crazy, it gets too crazy, duh. But I do think that the cheer hair being really, really big adds to your routine, it enhances it, it just makes things look larger than life and more exciting. And I feel like that, to its core, is what cheerleading is, right? You show up to a cheer practice, and the goal when you're doing your practices or your performance or whatever it is to be a bigger, more imagined version of yourself, right? And I think that cheer hair is that in real life. It makes what your real hair would be 10 times bigger. It's teased. I could literally live in some of your hair, y'all. Like, it is so big. It is so big. So, obviously, if it's a safety hazard, we don't like that. If it's like pulling your head back and you can't even do your back handspring in it, maybe we should tone it down a little bit. But I do like the big hair. I think it's a trend that's here to stay. It's obviously been here for a long time now. I think that the first cheerleader I can remember that did the big hair and like made it a trend was Sophia Jade. She was on Cali SoFab and Cali Aces. This is back in like 2015, 2016. If you know, you know. And she just really brought that like big hair trend out, in my opinion. That was one of the originators of it. She's not in cheerleading anymore so much, but yeah, I like the trend. It's been around for a while, and I think it's gonna stay for a while. So, big cheer hair, the hair pieces, I say it's fab. Comment below if you think the big cheer hair is fab or flop. I would like to know what you think. Again, I've never had to wear it, so I'm very interested to hear from people who do have to wear it, if you think it's fab or flop. Some of my own cheerleaders over the years who have worn it have said like, yes, I love it because they don't have to fry and tease their own hair, which is another benefit, but then some people don't like it because they can't get it in secure enough, and then you have your ponytail on the mat. So that is a humbling experience I'm very grateful I've never had to endure. Fab or flop, fab or flop, fab or flop. So our next segment on the Pros Pod is Pro Tip of the Week. I'm gonna amp up this theme song a little bit differently. Pro Tip of the Week, Pro Tip of the Week, Pro Tip of the Week is the Pro Tip of the Week. Hey. Thanks. Pro tip of the week going forward will be question answers from you guys. So we're looking for you to DM at the Pros Pod on Instagram and ask us, what do you want to know? What tip do you want to know? Do you have any questions that are burning? You want to ask a professional in the industry? This is for you. So the pro tip of the week is always to help our fans, help our viewers get the information that they want, and so you guys get to interact with us a little bit, because I want to give you guys what you want to know. And so does Miss Rita. But since it's our first episode, we haven't gotten any inquiries yet. I am going to give just a personal pro tip of the week, something that I think is valuable for coaches, athletes, and parents alike to know and help their athlete navigate a successful cheer career. So for my pro tip of the week, we're going to be talking about a flyer transitioning into a base or a back spot and how to make that a seamless transition. Over the years, I've seen a lot of flyers almost want to quit cheerleading as a whole because they're no longer going to be flying. And people stop flying for various reasons, whether that's just the needs of your team, maybe there's too many flyers, and when it comes to who's doing the best, maybe that's just not someone's year, and that's okay. Sometimes people grow and they have growth spurts, and it's time for them to be more valuable underneath a stunt. I think the best takeaway that I've seen over the years when flyers have transitioned into bases or back spots is reminding them that their value as a cheerleader is not in their stunt position. You can't put up a stunt without a base or a back spot or a flyer. So just because one person is standing on top of the others literally does not mean that they are any better or any more valuable than anyone else in a group. I also have found value of cheerleaders on teams over the years doing both positions if it's possible for them. If we know that maybe their flying career is going to be up in a few years, let's let them base the prep in the pyramid. Let them base the one skill in the secondary stunt, and then they can fly the elite. Or maybe they base the elite and they just fly the secondary stunt. I think as a whole, as a coach, as a parent, and as an athlete, it's really important to know your value is a cheerleader. You are a cheerleader at the end of the day, and you being well-rounded, being able to do any stunt position that your coach asks you to do, not just flying or basing or back spotting, makes you amazing, and it makes you a better team player. I think that's another thing that a lot of people forget is cheer is a team sport at the end of the day. So while it would be great for everyone to be able to be in the center panel and up in the front or flying the stunt or whatever they really want to do in their routine, you have to understand that when you sign up for a team sport, that just might not happen. And that is also okay. It's about learning how to be selfless. It's about learning how to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. That's why people sign their kids up for cheerleading. And if that's not why, that's really why they should. Because for me, I know that when I started cheer, there was years that happened where I felt like I really want to be in the front. And I worked my butt off to get into the front. And guess what? I was back left corner. And that was okay, because I knew that my value was being a teammate, was being a team player. And I felt way more fulfilled when I shifted my mindset into being a team player, really. So that's my tip, pro tip of the week. If you're not able to do exactly what you want in a routine, specifically today we're talking about going from a flyer into a base, know that you are still valuable, you are still wanted on your teams, and you are still loved by all of your coaches. Okay, our next segment. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, I am a cheer nerd. I eat, sleep, breathe, rinse, repeat cheerleading all the time. And so we thought, what better segment to have on the podcast than Cheer Story? There's letters here. You can see them, right? Okay, perfect. So, Cheerstory, every week when we do the podcast, is going to be a little tidbit of cheer history. Something that maybe you didn't know, something that maybe I just think everyone should know. It is my podcast after all. So, we are going to start the first ever Pros Pod Cheerstory segment with, how did cheerleading start? How did we get here? Why are we all doing this in the first place? Whose fault is this? I would like to know. I'm sure you would like to know too. I have to give flowers because I did not find this information on my own. My grandmother actually DM'd our Spirit Pro Instagram a video from the page fansplainme.sports, and she was telling us all about where cheer started. So, cheerleading was actually started November 2nd, 1898, 100 years before I was born, by a man named Johnny Campbell. And I emphasize a man because, as we all know, cheerleading is currently a very, very, very female-dominated sport, right? Obviously, there's men in it. I'm Exhibit A. But it's mostly women, it's mostly girls. There's a lot of all-girl teams. And even on score sheets, when you're looking, the number of boys that you can have on a team is significantly less than the number of girls that you can have on a team, which is very interesting because cheerleading was started by a man. So, how did that start? How did he start this? They were at a football game. He was cheering on his team. I believe it was in Minnesota. I don't know the exact school. But he was trying to cheer on the team. He was trying to rally the troops. So Johnny Campbell ran himself onto the field, turned his body to the crowd, and started leading them in chants to make their football team do better. And, ta-da, was the birth of cheerleading. Johnny Campbell, man above, thank you so much for all of this. You have breathed so much life into people. And I just think even that story in and of itself is so courageous and is really the epitome of what cheerleading is about. It's about gathering people. It's about camaraderie. It's about community. He was like, I'm going to build some community right now, and I want this football team to feel all of the support that they have. That's literally what cheerleading is. So, I love that story. I'm sure there's way more details that I could have gone into, but I just think that that little piece of it is so special. Like, what do you mean? He ran out of the stands. He was feeling so passionate in that moment that he just had to lead everyone around him. Like, that's so wonderful and awesome. And I do think that is very interesting. Cheerleading was started by a man. And kudos to the girls for taking over because y'all have really made cheerleading what it is today. So, old school cheerleading, so cool. Obviously, we all know cheer started on sidelines and just cheering for football teams, but now it is so much more competitive, and obviously there's all-star gyms and there's really competitive school teams, and people are now getting college scholarships to do cheerleading. So, Johnny Campbell, you have changed a lot of people's lives. I hope that you are smiling from down above and just like seeing how many people love the thing that you accidentally started. So, good job, Johnny Campbell. Thank you for that. Cheers for Johnny. Go, Johnny, go. For our next segment, we're going to feed the children, and we are going to give you a jam of the week. Must be jelly, because jam don't shake. Jam of the week is either going to be like maybe a cheer mix or just like a really great song that you can incorporate into your hype playlist or conditioning at practice, whatever you want. Girl, this is the song for you. I just feel like every summer I make a camp playlist and people are like, oh my God, please send me the playlist. This is so good. The vibes at camp are always lit. So what better segment to have than Jam of the Week and give you guys a little tidbit of the Spirit Pro vibe. So we are starting Jam of the Week with, drumroll please, Heated by Beyonce, but the clean version. You have to do the clean version. I love Heated, one, because it just gives that like sass, that attitude, that like embodiment of like it girl energy. So when you're conditioning and you're sweating and you're dying and your hair looks a mess, you still feel real cute because Beyonce got you down. Also, this is maybe like more nerd in me. I really like the cadence of the song. I feel like it's really easy to condition to because it's, I mean, can we play the song real quick? Are we gonna get copywritten?
Probably. We will get copyrighted, so if Coach JJ could just sing a portion of it.
Yeah, I'm a great singer. I actually won American Idol. Fun fact, 2018, I won American Idol. Look it up. I was there. I gotta cool it down, heated. You got me heated, but that's not my favorite part.
Heated.
Yeah, okay. This is my favorite part. Tip, tip, tip on hardwood floors. 10, 10, 10s across the board. Face, 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 yeah. Face card never decline, my God. Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. Right, so just imagine that, but like you're doing burpees, and it's fine. It's okay. It's okay that you're doing burpees because you're Beyonce. So that is my jam of the week. I love that song. I have probably blasted that song a million times in my car, blasted that at practices, blasted that when I'm working out myself. So if it gives me life, I hope it gives you a little bit of life too. Comment below your jam of the week. Comment below what your go-to is, okay? I want to know. I love a song recommendation. I'm always adding to my personal playlist. And I also love adding to the Spirit Pro playlist every year. I always try to make it something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, something true to you. And now I'm a rapstress. You're welcome. The jam of the week next week is gonna be all of my theme songs going into every segment. That's gonna be the jam of the week. So get ready for those, because I'm ready. Okay, so that wraps up the first episode of the Pros Pod. What? That's actually crazy. That's wild. Guys, this was so fun. I love this so much. Before we leave, I have two more things for you. One is I want to give you a little bit of current events, what's happening in the Spirit Pro world right now. So at the date that this is being filmed, it's the middle of July. So we're about to hit all of our super camps in about like 2 weeks. I'm so excited. I'm personally going to Missouri next week, and I'm going to be doing choreography with Platinum Athletics. I am so excited. I got to work with them last fall, and I had such a great experience working with their teams. I really loved them there, and they just made me feel so at home. So I can't wait to be back in St. Louis. That's going to be a blast. If you're looking for more things Spirit Pro, podcast-wise, you can find us on TikTok and Instagram at The Pros Pod, all one word. But if you're looking for all other things Spirit Pro, you can find us on all social media platforms at Spirit Pro Cheer, or you can find us online, website, spiritprocheer.com. You know where to find us. Thank you so much for tuning into the first episode of the Pros Pod. This has been a blast. I'm so excited to have so many more episodes with you guys. Please let us know in the comments, DM us on Instagram, anywhere you can find us. Give us your feedback. We want to know what you want. Let us know things you want us to talk about. Let us know things you want to see. Let us know guests you want to have on the podcast. I want to bring some people on here. I want to pick their brains. I love cheerleading. And I love collaborating with other people who love cheerleading. And I love knowing their thoughts, their ideas, their opinions. There's no right or wrong opinion. Unless it is mine, then it is always right. Thank you so much for watching the first episode of the Pros Pod. I love you, and I will see you at camp in a few weeks. You about to get some branding all up in your face, all up in your face, all up in your face. BSBN. Shut back. You mess with 100% Florida, you get BLACK. Sliced. You so whack. Down.